8 steps to a successful enterprise solution implementation.
For the first step, what is the first step in a successful implementation of a solution? It is, there should be a business case which should drive the initiative. In this case, it could be an ERP you're evaluating. You should answer these 4 major questions. Why do you need an ERP? Right? What are the problems are you expecting it will go and solve? What are the business priorities? Right? You have 10 different priorities. Is this one up there? And if I have 10 challenges, even if you take procurement, you have multiple departments: procurement, manufacturing, finance, maintenance, and so on and so forth, HR, and so on and so forth. In this, each one of you might have multiple priorities within that function. Are we going to address all of this? Are we going to address, have you done a Pareto of what are your 3 main procurement problems today? 3 main finance management in your finance management or in any other function? And are we going to address those 3? Believe me, you cannot address everything in one go. You need to have a prioritized list to go forward. So that is very, very important. And is this already documented? Is this what you thought, your thought process before evaluation is what I'm talking about? Executive sponsorship is the reason why executive sponsorship is very, very important when you select a very major initiative in an enterprise such as yours, is because many organizations think that, and many organizations today are owner driven, right? And normally what happens is you decide to choose what ERP you want and then allow the implementation to be done by an IT team or a couple of guys taken away and implemented. That is just not good enough when you embark on an organization-wide initiative, especially multiple entity-driven organizations. You need to have a clear vision, clear path, and outline the strategic reasons and priorities why you have chosen a particular system or why are you going for this particular initiative. Another important point to see is end users. When I say end users, it is the key users and power users who will be reporting to you, right? And you will be handling a department and you might have multiple people reporting into you. So you will find that end users can make or break ERP projects or any enterprise solution trying initiative. Why? Because they could not have been communicated. There can be fear of change, right? Today, I'll be very comfortable reporting to you and you'll be asking me a report and then I go back and I'm an important and valuable member of your team. What happens if this information is available online? Will you call me again? So if I give this thought process to run through my people who report to me, then there is a fear of holding back, withholding some information for me to get that power center within the organization. Hence, it's important to communicate people. Why this initiative? Why are we doing this strategic thing? Convince them the need to change. This change, what I talked about in the first slide, is change across the organization, across to the end users. And why it is important and how it can benefit them is what you need to do by engaging them in this cycle. Building the right project team. So one of the key things is you need to have a team at each of these units you are going to implement. And you need to have a strong project manager. Does he need to be an IT guy? No. Does he has to be a business guy? Definitely yes. He or she needs to know in and out of the business, be a process champion, be a position of authority to get things done. These are very, very crucial characteristics of a good project manager. Doesn't need to be from IT, but definitely needs to have getting things done within a timeline, right? So because the person should be able to have administrative power, should be able to do change management policies, and should have definitely project management skills. Again, when you do the product, you will deal with consultants. So you have to evaluate not just the product, you should also evaluate consultants. You should also evaluate the company. If you go in for a very large company to go and implement, and you need these are dynamics can change. The organization can dictate the pace and of the implementation. If you go in for a medium fit or a smaller fit, you need to evaluate all these characteristics, which are very, very important in a crucial successful implementation. The sixth step in this crucial process is estimating the time and resources. Normally, organizations tend to underestimate the time and resources. Very, very important. Don't think that everything needs to be automated, what I'm doing currently now. Sometimes doing something which is manual is more beneficial because you can do it quickly and finish it off. Normally, the golden rule and the thumb rule is to automate the repetitive processes, the mundane processes, and allow one-off transactions. You can still do it manually. If you want to do it at a later stage, you can think about, you can do phased implementations. You can do, what can I get a quick win? Where can I get a quick win? These are some things, because any elongated implementation, you run the risk of failure, because there will be high enthusiasm and momentum initially with the team. But as the implementation gets long drawn, then you tend to question whether are we going in the right direction. And there are only three reasons for a failure. One, the product itself. The second is the service provider's competency, the consultants, I mean, who come and do. Do they know the job? Do they know my industry? Do they know what they are talking about? That could be the second one. But the third one, which is the least talked about reason for failure, is the end users and the environment itself. The seventh step in this is don't hedge on training, because normally if you look at organizations in the pandemic also, when we saw, the first thing which gets cut in the budget is the training. No, you don't allow people to go and attend trainings because you need to get that kind of visibility, and unless you train people, they will not absorb technology. And in an organization, you will also have attrition. So old employees go, new employees come in. New employees should be as good as the old employee who goes out in terms of handling the new application which is already there. So we advise organizations, as part of the HR policy, he or she, if you are saying your storekeeper or finance accounts assistant is going, you recruited a person, before he or she could be sitting on the seat, they are trained and certified on the screens on which they are doing data entry. Otherwise, you are going to put your entire application at risk. So it's very, very important to train and also make it as part of your organizational change, organizational policy of your HR as well, to educate and train people before deploying them at their seat. The last step in a successful implementation is Kaizen. Kaizens are continuous improvement, which also means that when you implement an ERP, it is a journey. It's never a destination, right? You have put in an application, you've been using technology for long, and it is a journey. What happens during this journey? Certain new product lines come, certain old products line get phased out, but the application is static. It does not move. It is not flexible enough to go the direction which the organization is going. And that is why normally there is a gap between what the system is there and what are the ground processes which are being followed. And slowly disillusionment comes, and then I feel, okay, this is not now supporting. Technology also is changing. Today it's mobile enabled. Today it is it's cloud enabled technology. So you can work anywhere you want, not necessarily to work from your office. So all these things make it that it is not a static process or a mindset. You have to keep stretching, keep expanding on technology, on business processes, and keep the solution as flexible as possible and as easy as possible to adapt to these changes.